MG Rob back with you, and today we're back on the 60 MGA. In today's video we should be finishing it up, so let's get going. So I got the seat bottom frames swapped back to the correct sides. So when you're looking at the seat frames, you see the back of the seat goes down on the right side and the left side comes down, so it's lower on the outside of the car than on the inside of the car. But then the bottom frame tapers for the transmission tunnel. These things were assembled with this seat bottom on this frame and this seat bottom on this frame, and that's why they didn't fit in the car right. So now we got that all situated so we can get ready to put these in the car. So we got the rest of the carpet installed down the right side there, across the transmission tunnel here, and got the other kick panel in over on that side. And right now we're working on fitting this piece of carpet. This piece goes down by buttons and is removable, but the bad thing about this carpet is this isn't the highest quality carpet. This stuff can fray and pull apart on the edges, and we're a little bit worried about if this is just trimmed to fit, and over the time, if someone's pulling this out, the new owner pulls it out because they get wet or because they want to clean them, that the edges might start fraying. So since we do have the ability to, we may bind the edges here and here, just like this is done here. We're debating that right now. So I finally figured out a way to open these up to fit around the door panels without making a mess of them. I couldn't find the tools I was looking for to do it, and I ended up having to improvise. But got the door panels on, ended up putting number 6 screws all the way around here instead of the number 4 screws that are supplied in the kit, which meant I had to go get new cup washers, and I managed to find some that are a really close match so they look right. But the doors had already had number 6 screws put in them sometime in the past, and the only way to go to number 4s is to weld them all up and start over, so that's the solution. But since these door panels are thicker, and we have new door seals, and the new door seals never seem to compress as much, the doors are now really tight, which I kind of expected, because it always turns out that way. MGB, MGA, doesn't matter. So it is a little stiff shutting, so what I'm going to end up doing is loosening the fit of the door just a little bit to make it not so tight. Now we can't actually put these panels in yet. We go here because we got screws to go in here to hold this piece in, and I got to finish covering those corner pieces yet. But when you put these in here, if your carpet doesn't come up high enough up through here to fold underneath, which this didn't, then I like to just put a little strip in there, because when you go to put this in, now you don't see any color showing through any of the corners here, which it was noticeable. You could see color before I did that. All right. We did get the spare tire in there. It's the one that he had for the car, which is actually the early B wheel. But it's in there, so it does have a spare. It will work, though it's not the right wheel. Now next, we need to, in order to bolt the seats in, we gotta have places to bolt them to. I've already got them pre-drilled for pilots. Now what I did here was I had laid all this out by the factory engineering drawings as provided by Moss, and then I laid them on the I laid them on the cardboard and made sure it was cross-checking nice and square, and then double-checked against what I had here and made sure I punched them square rather than just to my measurements, because it's really hard to measure this because nothing's straight here. So these originally had little T-nuts in them. These used to come pre-installed in these floorboards, and it's been a while now since they've been pre-installed. They just So like I said, some of them are just drilled for holes, and one set I bought wasn't even drilled at all. But when I tried to find these in fine thread, which is what's supposed to be in there, I couldn't find them, which is probably why these aren't coming with them. So we're using coarse thread. So some of you might look at this and say, well, that's not a whole lot holding those seats in. And yeah, you're right, it isn't. But that's how they did it. Now, if you want to, what you do is you just put long enough bolts through there so that it sticks out far enough to put a nice big fender washer or piece of plate, whatever you're comfortable with for your car, for the amount of mounting. And then you can put a lock washer and a nut or a nylock or something on the bottom of that if you want to. So now I just need to drill the holes here. And what I did was I measured this with a pair of calipers, and these were just a fuzz over 9/32. So I got a 9/32 drill bit here. We'll drill 4 holes here, and then we'll be able to put these in, and it'll be just about ready to install the seats. So back to the rear cockpit rail corner pieces, since we need to get those on in order to put the back portion of the interior in. I did get a hold of another set of these beyond what I've got here, and looked at all measurements and found a good happy medium of a consensus on where they probably should be, and found a good measurements to put them out to avoid any of these broken screws that are there, or the old screw holes that were put in later that were way off, or like in this case, the brand new one, how far they were off there. Now when you're doing these screw holes, what I like to do, you drill them in there, find a drill bit that's really close to the shank of the screw you're putting in there. In this case, for these, I'm going to use the number 4 screws that I didn't use on the interior door panels, since they actually sit a little bit nicer within the turnbuckle there than the number 6 screws that they actually sell you and tell you to put in there. It seems like the original ones use number 4s anyway, from what I could tell. But in this case too, I'm running out of number 6 screws. I don't have anything left that I can find around the shop. So that's going to work well there, but I like to take a drill bit that's about the same size as the shank here, which on these were right about 105 thousandths, and drill into there, and then you work the screw in. Get it started, screw it in, and work it in. Pull, back it out, work it in, back it out, work it in. A little bit of cutting fluid goes a long way to helping with this. And don't get greedy. Once it starts tightening up, back out. Because the last thing you want to do is break that off in there. And it's a lot easier to do than you might think. But run it all down until it goes in far enough to hold this good. And take your time at it, and you can get a nice job out of it. Do that before it's covered, because it's so much easier to do it now, especially if you end up breaking a screw off. It's so much easier to deal with before it's covered. And now the inside screws here, you can see this is where they pre-drilled it on the new one, and that's where I ended up putting it based on where all the original ones were at. So yeah, the new ones, the holes are pretty far off from any of the original stuff for some reason. So you want to fill these holes up once that you're not going to use, once you get these figured out where you're going to put them. Now you can use anything you want, JB Weld, some other epoxies, any kind of fillers. I'm using a wood filler because that's what I have sitting here from working on the other rails. But you don't want to just take the filler and just kind of and say, oh, yeah, that's good enough. You want to pack that thing full. It may sound trivial at this point, but you know, pack that thing full, and I'll tell you why in a second. But get some in there and then get you a drill bit that's really close to the, and just push it down in there. Get it pushed down in there and then put some more in, push it down in there, put some more in until you pack that thing nice and full. And the reason why is once this thing is covered with material, no matter how good your job you do, trying to maybe mark some spots or take some measurements, write them down, whatever, you're still going to be coming in here with some sort of a tool of some sort where you think it is, and you're going to be poking around a little bit and trying to find that hole. Once you find that soft spot where that's not supported, then you're going to poke through. While if you start out in the wrong spot, poking, trying to find it, and you find one of these other holes that's already there, and even if it's been covered over with just a little bit of filler, that could give way, and then you could end up pushing through and putting a hole where you didn't want it to be, and that will ruin your day. Well, the suck just continues on this car, always bringing me new surprises to deal with. So he had replaced this upper seat track with all new ones on both seats, but he had reused the lowers and cleaned them up and painted them. Now when you put these together, they're supposed to make a C, and that C needs to be square. I actually prefer it to be a little closed square. But when you put them together, it ended up being open. It wouldn't be square. So as soon as you tighten the seat down, it just locks everything up and nothing will move. Now on this side, it's not too difficult for me to deal with. I just put this, took this off, put it in the leaf brake, and just bend this up, just put a couple degree bend into this. So now this angles down just slightly, which is exactly what it needs for this to do what it has to do and have the slop it needs to maneuver when it's tightened down. But this side's a different story because we got this lever here. Can't just clamp this in the brake. So what I'm going to have to do, which I did on the other seat already, is this edge here, where this bends down, I'll have to bend that, I'll have to take some of that bend out of it. Problem is, it's really easy for this thing to end up bowed slightly when you do that. So then you got to work the whole piece to get the bow out of it, and it takes time. I was hoping to get this thing done today. We're going to be definitely into tomorrow morning at the minimum finishing this thing up. But the other problem is the dimensions of these is just a little off. I had spent so much time making sure the seat frame, the seat holes were exactly to the perfect dimensions, and when you bolt these together, the distance between the holes ends up a little narrow. So then that pulls on this and still locks the seat up. But the easy fix to that is take these holes here and slot them just a little. Turns out I got a USS washer here. If I just take that much out there, that gives me plenty of room to work it so the seat moves freely. So yeah, fun. Well, here we are 2 days later. Got all the seats in. They are sliding properly now. Got the cockpit rails all done. And we did end up binding the carpet all the way around because that stuff really needed it. This carpet is a very common carpet that's used in a lot of kits, and it's not the best stuff in the world. And it really needs to be bound to not fall apart. So we just decided that's the best way to tackle it, and that's how we ended up doing it. So now this car is ready to just get a nice vacuum out, quick cleaning or detailing cleaned up, some minor details, and it'll be going on Bring a Trailer for sale. I guess is at this point it'll probably be sometime in January, but I'm not handling that part, so I don't really know. This should be the last time you ever see the car on my channel. So that's another one buttoned up and finished.